All right. So I wanted to go over the action plan assignment to make sure that everybody understands how to do it, just so there's no complications or you're submitting the wrong thing, especially because this is an important assignment because it really kind of helps prepare you in terms of planning out what is your next steps academically, like what is your goal that you're trying to reach. If it's career based or if it's a specific major that you're trying to get into, or if it's just that you want to achieve to attend a four-year institution in 2 years or to graduate with your associates in 2 years. I really want you to delve into figuring out what is my ultimate academic goal right now and how am I going to reach that goal. Because we already talked about with SMART goals, like you have to have it a specific goal. It's measurable, achievable, realistic, and of course, time bound. You want to make sure that the goal you're set up, that you know the steps you got to take, because these are bigger goals. If you say you want to graduate in 2 years, what does that mean? What does that look like? If you say, so the goal and plan with this specific assignment is for you to really dig into why or what is your ultimate goal. So in determining a goal, term goal, you want to think about a lifestyle, a success you want to have. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? What kind of work are you doing? What is the career you have? Why was choosing this goal important to you? That's your why. Like when they look at the goal steps in your action plan, like what is your why? What satisfaction does it provide other than money? That's very important, that whatever goal you set up, that it doesn't, that it's not because you want to make more money. Because a lot of times if money is the root of your goal, it may not be the root of your happiness and satisfaction in the career you choose. What relationship does this class have to reaching your goal? And then thinking about intermediate range goals, these are kind of like the smaller steps to get to the bigger goal, which is a long-term goal. So what are the things you need to accomplish in the next 2 to 5 years to reach that goal? Maybe the next semester, next year, to help you reach that long-term goal. So do you need to explore some career interests? Do you need to start to get your GPA up? Do you need to start getting your organization and time management up? How do you do that? What does that look like? Are there people who can help you? What do you need to do that will help progress you towards defining a goal or focusing your efforts? So this particular slide came from the University of Massachusetts, Boston. And this is an activity they have their students do, but I think this is important in terms of looking at your action plan, in terms of trying to create the next step, in terms of okay, this is my long-term goal. Here are the intermediate goals that will help me reach that long-term goal. And then you have your smarter goals, your smaller goals to help you get to that bigger goal as well. So in your action plan, it has a list of 10 steps you have to achieve and finish to get the full 50 points. A lot of students miss points because they don't read the directions. So in talking about the long-term intermediate goals, this action plan needs to be about your academics. Don't submit something that talks about weight loss or about something you want to do in terms of that doesn't deal with academics or career or major choice. And so you want to write down, for every single question, you want to write down step 1 and then write the answer. It says in bold, identify each step in your answers. If you don't put step 1, you're going to lose points. If you don't put step 2, you're going to lose points. If you don't put step 3, you're going to lose points. So make sure you're writing down step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7, step 8, step 9, step 10. I said that really fast, but make sure you're writing down your steps. So you want to write your SMART goals. You want to write down your SMART goal. You do this with your discussion board question. And we'll talk deeper in the next slide about what that SMART goal should look like so you don't lose points. You want to set deadlines. So set a deadline for your goal. So you want to be realistic with your time frame, but challenge yourself to get it done sooner rather than later. So your SMART goal already sets a deadline, but deadlines are deeper. So if you say that my SMART goal is to graduate from Prince George's Community College by August of 2023, that's a hefty goal, because that means you have to get through all these classes in the next year and a half to graduate by next year in 2023. So there are shorter deadlines. So you might say by fall of 2022, I will have completed this many credit hours. By spring of 2023, I would have completed this many credit hours. By summer of 2022, I would have completed this many credit hours. So that's what it means by setting deadlines for your goals. Or maybe you're picking a major or a career. So maybe your first step is in the next 6 months, interning, networking, deciding if you want to transfer to a four-year institution, figuring out deadlines in terms of like, what are the requirements given to that four-year institution. So deadlines mean setting smaller deadlines to get to that bigger goal when it says set deadlines. And like I said, sometimes you can literally just use whatever you put for your time bound for your step one goal in your action plan. So step 3, your why. So you want to write your reason for pursuing this goal. Please don't just write because it makes money. That should not be your ultimate reason why you're doing this. Your why is important for helping you identify the positive impacts this goal will have on your life. Yes, will it help you financially? If you write that down, I want you to take it a step further and really think about the job satisfaction it'll give you. Why is it you want to do this job, or not this job, but like, why is it you want to graduate in 2 years? Why is it you want to do this career? Why is it you want to do this major? Like, really, why is it you want to have a 3.5 GPA when you graduate? Like, really digging into the why it's important for you, because that's going to have to keep coming back to you when you want to give up. So that's what step 3 is. Again, make sure you identify each step in your answers. So remember, a SMART goal is specific. So you want to think about who is involved, what do you want to accomplish, establish a time frame, identify requirements, constraints, specific reasons, purpose, or benefit of accomplishing this goal. So if your goal is that by May of 2022, I want to have a 3.5 GPA, which means that I will have 3 A's and 2 B's. Make sure you know what it means to have a 3.5 GPA. Just don't say 3.5 GPA. And again, making sure that that specific goal has something to do with academics, major, or career choice. So measurable. So when you measure something, you just want to make sure that you can reach your target dates. Is there a way to measure the progress in terms of your goal to help you stay on track? So if you want to get a 3.5 GPA, this is measurable because over the next couple of months, you can make sure that specific assignments are submitted on time, that you get specific grades, that you meet with your professor. So there's ways to measure the progress toward that grade, especially if you just are paying attention to what you're turning in and you're turning in quality work and you know what the grades are. Attainable. So it's something that you know you can actually attain. It's not something that's like, I want to have $1 million in 3 months by becoming a doctor in the next 6 months. Like, those are things that are not possible. Like, yes, you can get $1 million in 3 months if you like won the lottery or something, but becoming a doctor in 6 months, if you are still working on your associates, is not as attainable as saying I could get my degree in medical, we're going to medical school in 6 years, right? So you want to think about like that time bound part of reaching that goal. Realistic, kind of same as what I just said before. A goal needs to be high, both high and realistic. You're the only person who can decide if your goal is too high or not high enough, because it's you. I don't know who you are internally and if you're intrinsically motivated or extrinsically motivated. But that's something where you want to make sure it's something you know is realistic and you can actually reach this goal. But don't set your standards too low, and don't set them too high, but set them high so that you can challenge yourself to reach that goal. So timely, again, is just being a sort of time frame, as well as like tangible. So it's something that you can experience, that you can touch, you can smell, you can see it, you can hear it. You know, this is a goal you can actually reach and touch, and it's reachable. So that's how you would do steps 1 through 3. Step 4, you want to look at your habits. So identify a daily or weekly habit that will keep you on track with your goal. So maybe like figuring out things that distract you. Look at the time management stuff that we've discussed in the PowerPoint presentations and in the book. Like, what are some things that are things you can change to help you be successful? Do you need to find a place to study that's quiet? Do you need to declutter the space that you work within? Do you need to find a time frame that you can work within? Do you need to stop procrastinating? How are you going to change these habits to make yourself more productive or to get where you are successful to reach? Step 5, you want to research by going online or talking to an academic or faculty advisor, looking at websites within your career field, but you need to explain what's going on to take, what it's going to take to reach your goal, and explain what you've researched here. So you must show you did some research. You must state where you got the research from. You can say, I talked with my academic faculty member, I talked with an advisor, I spoke. But you must cite and state who you spoke with and show that you did some research on what it's going to take to accomplish this goal. So remember, this assignment is for you. It's to help you reach your goal. So the deeper you dig into this, the more helpful it will be for you on the back end, the front end. So step 6, you want to list action steps. So you want to list every single step that's needed to happen to achieve this goal. What does it take to accomplish your goal? How will you get from point A to point Z? These are called short-term goals. So those are those intermediate goals that we kind of discussed earlier, and I'm going to go over some more examples in a second. But you want to have the action steps. What does it take to achieve this goal? What are the things that I have to do? And some of your all SMART goal discussion board responses I gave you, I kind of made some suggestions, or I stated that, this is a great SMART, figure out what are the steps that you're going to take to get there. So if I want to graduate in 2 years, then I know that the smaller term goals is that I got to figure out what courses I need to take. I need to figure out when I should take these courses. I need to figure out with an advisor how to make sure that I am on the right track. I need to make sure that I complete a certain number of credit hours by a certain time period. These are short-term goals. Same thing with like picking a major. If you want to transfer to a 4-year, there's a bunch of research you got to take and put into play, and people you got to talk to, and things you got to make sure you're doing correctly to make sure you reach that goal. So then you want to order your steps. So review your list of action steps and order them in a way that makes sense based on what needs to happen first. So in step 6, you're just listing everything I need to do, just listing it all down there. And then step 7, you're taking that list and then you're going to order it. So what needs to happen first, happen second, happen third, happen fourth, happen fifth, happen sixth. So identify next to each step, every resource you currently have, and those will need to complete your steps. So that means if you know that you need to figure out what courses you need to take, the resource you need is your advisor. So right next to that step, you need to put, I need to meet with my advisor. If you know you need to work on your time management skills so you can actually pass your classes, then you need to put next to that is maybe meet with a faculty member who could support me, or maybe you have a friend, or even in this course, you can meet with me to help you with that task. But figure out what resource you need for every step that you listed in that order. So so when you do step 7, it's almost like you're copying and pasting over step 6, but the second part of it is that you're listing the resources you need for every one of those goals and putting them in order by what needs to go first. Step 8, smaller tasks. For each action step you've identified to make the larger action step easier for you. So you want to break down every step further to achieve your goal down to its smallest steps possible. So like if one of your steps is that you need to figure out what courses to take, the smaller step would be to meet with an advisor and review your academic plan, right? So that's the smaller step. So like if you need to register for classes, you may also need to review your program requirements. You need to check your transcript for those classes you've already taken, schedule an appointment with an academic advisor, attend that appointment. So smaller steps just mean like taking it down to the smallest piece of what you need to do to accomplish that goal. So examples of strategies that you could use to help reach your goal. So let's say if your example is that you want to get higher grades, study 2 hours every day, go to the writing and reading center for help, use Cornell notes, take more notes, take better notes, read for class, use the instructor's office hours, create a monthly assignment calendar. So these are like the intermediate goals to help with a bigger goal. Some other examples: meet with my advisor before I drop a class, complete the next 2 semesters, take a learning style questionnaire to help figure out what type of learning. So these are examples that I kind of just stole from different websites that they gave as examples. This is also from Dartmouth, I believe, or UMass, but these are just examples of smaller goals you can set up for yourself. So then step 9, you want to create due dates. which is create a weekly or a monthly list of actions that you will accomplish / complete each week, month to reach your goal. So the date and end date for each action step and smaller task, and make the due dates attainable. Add them to a calendar or to-do list. You can literally create a calendar if you want to and take a picture of it and just post it right here for step 9. Or you can create one on a Word doc, a table, and show your due dates. But in order to get full credit for this, I need to see dates of each step and each thing that you want to accomplish, either weekly or monthly, the list of actions you will accomplish each week or each month to reach your goal. So if there's no dates here, you automatically lose points. And then step 10 is set reminders and post your plan. So if it's like putting it on your dashboard, your wallet, your cell phone, on a computer screen, hanging up on your refrigerator, you want to explain to me where you're going to post your plan and where and how you will set your reminders. So you can either explain to me where you're going to post it, or you can show me a picture of where you're going to post it and how you're going to remind yourself. So that's the end of how you'll do this. This is a nice little website that the Wi-Fi is horrible today, so we'll see if it will pop up. If it doesn't pop up in the next 60 seconds, I will just explain it to you. Okay, so the Wi-Fi is acting up. My apologies, you guys. I don't know why the computer is going this slow. All right, I'm going to pause this for one moment. Okay, so this is what I was trying to show you guys. This is from the University of Colorado, Boulder, but this is a nice little website that just kind of talks about what it looks like in terms of identifying resources and networks to help you achieve your goals. Questions you need to ask yourself to create a well-designed action plan, and just kind of like figuring out like the resources you can utilize to kind of help in terms of the barriers that could come in place of trying to meet your goals, which is the whole entire reason behind the action plan, is to keep yourself from falling into these pitfalls that happen when you don't have action or basically an action plan, a map of how you plan on reaching your goals. So if you guys have other questions, again, feel free to send me an email or text or call me. Not text or call me, I'm sorry, or email me or set up an office hours meeting with me.